everyone, my name is Francesca. I am an Italian knitter and this is episode number 6 of an Italian knitting podcast. Today for you I have one finished object and I have 3 works in progress, and I do have a little bit of acquisitions and I do have plans already for those acquisitions, so that's pretty exciting that they are kind of ready to be cast on, which is kind of my favorite phase of a project, when you do have the yarn and you have a pattern in mind and you are kind of itching to start a project. The finished object that I have for you is the sweater that I am currently wearing, and this is, drum roll please, No Frills Sweater by PetiteKnit. This is my 3rd version of this pattern. The first 2 that I've knitted were in a combination of a fingering yarn plus a mohair. Both of those 2 versions I really loved, and they are very soft and very cozy. And for my 3rd try, I wanted to try DK weight yarn. Drops Lima in the color pearl gray. Drops Lima is a wool and alpaca blend. I do not remember the percentage of any of those 2 fibers. So it's 65% wool and 35% alpaca, and I feel like you can really kind of tell that this has some alpaca in it because it's so warm and cozy, and I feel like I'm a little bit outside of the perfect season to wear this. I feel like this would be a perfect wintertime cozy kind of sweater. I don't think this is super appropriate for spring, but we will see. I don't think it will be appropriate for under a jacket. It might be just a sweater that you wear on its own to go out without anything on top of it. Maybe just like a cozy shawl or a scarf, but maybe not a jacket. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like in Italy, which is where I am right now, the weather is already starting to feel like spring, so I might be sweaty after like half an hour with this plus a jacket on top, but we'll see. The only modification that I've done to this pattern were the ribbing. So I did a twisted rib. No, let's try it. Yeah, this is a twisted rib. Sorry, I have a watch underneath, so that's why this is very bumpy, but this is a twisted rib. So you twist the knit stitches and you do regular purl, and it's 1 by 1. And I feel like it just gives you this beautiful, very neat looking ribbing. And I feel like I want to try and use this ribbing for all my projects in the future. The color is the same, the other sleeve is the same, and even the bottom hem has the same stitch, and it just gives maybe a little bit of a kind of a polished, more professional looking finish. The No Frills sweater is a somewhat oversized sweater, so it recommends a good amount of ease based on your bust size, bust circumference, and I feel like, I don't remember by memory, I want to say it's 20 centimeters ease or something similar, but if you do not want that amount of ease, you can always go against the recommended ease for this pattern and just knit a size down compared to the ideal one that the pattern recommends, and you would be good to go and you would have a more fitted version. However, I do like this very chill vibe. I think it's perfect to wear in the house while working at my laptop or just like living my life. I think it's still good looking enough that I feel pretty when I go out for dinner or for lunch somewhere. I really like that you have a good amount of space here under your armpit, this very sexy area, and so you don't feel restricted. You can kind of stretch. I don't know, I think it's perfect. I think I found my perfect pattern and the perfect size for me. And for reference, I've been knitting sizes small for all my No Frills sweater, and I am around 84 centimeters bust. I will insert my actual measurements here, just in case you're looking to knit this pattern and you want to have an idea on how it would look like on your frame, maybe. And I think this might not be my last one. Again, I said that before, it's a really comfort knit for me. I know how the pattern works, I know where the increases have to be. I know that with a certain needle size, I will achieve this amount of ease and this look. So yeah, I mean, I just love it. I would recommend it to everyone, and I think I already did in all my previous episodes. So let's move on. Ooh, the price. I want to say that I will put on the screen the final amount for the yarn. I really enjoyed this yarn. It's very comfortable to knit with. It gives you like a very thick, nice fabric while you knit with it. So, and after you block it, it also gives you even more squishiness. So very recommended. I have at least a couple, maybe 1.5 skeins left. So I would love to combine what I have left here plus some other leftovers that you'll see in a little bit, and maybe knit a sweater for my daughter because I think she needs around maybe 200 grams of DK weight yarn for a sweater. So it would be 4 DK weight balls of yarn, and I think I do have those laying around as leftovers of my sweaters. So I might have to do some stripes or some, I don't think I can do color work, but I don't know. I might combine a couple of different colors, and this is one of them. Very squishy. I know that she will love it too. Let's move on to works in progress. The works in progress that I'm most excited about are two that I actually started right after recording my last podcast episode, and they both use yarn that I showed you during my last podcast episode, and I bought them very recently, and I will start with this one. Hello. This is the Whitmoor Sweater by Amy Lowden. I do not know how to pronounce her name, but I will put it on the screen. I think this is the most said thing on knitting podcasts ever. Yeah, but I'll put it on the screen. Delegate to future self to do the proper work. This is my absolutely first lace yoke sweater, and I loved every single second I knitted on this. I think I finished the yoke in a week. That was a week where my husband was away from work outside of the country, and so my evenings were just my own in the sense that I would put my daughter to sleep, and then I had like at least 2 hours of awake time while I felt energetic enough to do stuff before going to bed. And I just knitted on this with a cat alongside me, and sometimes the TV on, sometimes an audiobook in my ears, but just this knitted itself almost. Again, first lace yoke sweater, and it was very easy to knit. The pattern is super clear. It asks you to put stitch markers in specific places, so you use those as a guide for all the charts or the written instructions if you want to use those. You have both in the pattern, but yeah, you can just follow the chart, but you have the stitch markers in place. So it's quite mindless in a way for being lace, that I would still call it like very guided. Let's say that is very guided. You're given a couple of options for the sleeves, more of a balloon sleeves. I think it's called bishop sleeve, but I did just the regular fitted sleeve, which is what I prefer. It fits well underneath jackets or underneath other stuff. And also if I'm at my laptop, I feel like a tighter sleeve is easier for me to do work with. And I knitted like almost a full sleeve, the body more or less. So I'm gonna soak it and block it right after I finished recording this, and I will see how much it grows, and I will try it on before knitting the ribbings to really get like the proper fit. I want this to be my perfect sweater. I loved it so much. I think it's very pretty. And this is knitted with, let's see if my memory serves me well. This is Sunless Garn. I do not remember. Okay, so no, I knew that. So the fingering weight is Sunday. This is actually the PetiteKnit edition of the Sunday yarn, which I guess means that PetiteKnit the designer chose the colorways, and this is the Sunday. I'm gonna put the, and the mohair, it's called Tynn silk mohair. I will put it on the screen. And they're both super soft. The mohair especially is not itchy in the slightest. It's perfect. So I think this will be a delight to wear. The only thing about this yarn is that I bought 4 skeins of each. So 8 skeins or 8 balls in total as a package from the Strikke.it website. I will put a link down below for the website as well. And they had like a package deal, which was discounted. So they gave you like 8 balls of yarn for a discounted price. And I feel like 8 balls, 4 and 4, it's a little bit less than what I would ideally need to be comfortable with knitting a sweater. So I'm not playing yarn chicken, but I would not have leftovers probably after finishing this up. I wanted though to try this yarn, so I kind of grabbed the opportunity for the discounted price. And I think I'll be happy with this. I'm okay if it's gonna be a little bit cropped because I don't have enough yarn to do like a super long, full length body. I'll be happy nonetheless, but it was just a good chance to grab. The only thing I think I would change if I were to knit this again is I think I would do twisted rib for the collar and all the ribbings as well. I've seen on Ravelry a good amount of knitters who made that modification, so they did the twisted rib. And it looked so neat and pretty, and I think with the lace it gives it a little bit of extra, I don't know, a better, like a more professional look. I don't know, it looks beautiful with regular ribbing as well, but my ribbing is not the best. I don't have a super even tension, so I feel like it would have been a good modification. But when I don't know, I had the yarn, I was like, I really want to cast on something now. So I didn't go through all the projects on Ravelry looking for like modifications to do and what did other people do with regards to this pattern. And I just had the pattern and I started it. I feel like, yeah, if I were to start again, I think I would do a twisted rib. And I would recommend this pattern for sure to you. And I will recommend that you do the twisted rib. But again, very easy to follow. I did make one mistake. I probably made more than one mistake, but there's one that it's noticeable. It's here. So how do I show this? Oh yeah, I think you can actually tell. So there are like vertical columns here. I don't know if columns is the right word, but like there's a couple of missing yarn overs in this spot here. You can tell probably, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not like, ooh, this is ugly looking, but if you really focus on that spot that I pointed at, you can tell. However, This sweater is reversible back and front, and I will just wear that in the back, so no one will ever notice, because I work from home and no one is sitting behind me. I guess I have a couple of plants. The plants do not care about my knitted garments, and they're just happy with water, and they don't need anything else from me. That's it. As I said, plan to block this and finish it up, and hopefully I'll wear it on my next knitting podcast, because I'm very proud of this. I'm also proud of myself for trying something new, which is lace. I don't know, I'm very proud. Good job, Francesca. Cool. Let's move on to works in progress number 2, and that's another sweater. The second sweater that I have in progress, it's called the Cozy Classic Raglan by Jessie Maed Designs. And it's a little bit wrinkly, I'm so sorry. It's also very scrunched up on a cable, but you can kind of tell what the vibe is. This is a simple looking, not simple, but clean looking Raglan sweater. This is a DK weight yarn. So it has a good structure to it, a good thickness. However, the gauge is a little bit looser than my no frills sweater. So I hope that this will be perfect for spring. So the color I'd say is perfect for spring, but even the texture and the fabric should be a little bit more airy and light compared to something like this. This is 21 stitches for 4 inches or 10 centimeters, and this is 18 stitches. So 3 stitches less per 10 centimeters. So it's a little bit of a, not a looser fabric, a lightweight fabric. So I split for the sleeves not too many rows ago, and I'm just knitting away on the body, which is one of my, I don't know, favorite stages of knitting on a sweater. Just being able to go round and round, I find it so relaxing and mindful. You can really do some deep thinking while you knit in the round and kind of dream about stuff, or just think about the future, think about the past, I don't know, meditate. Either way, the yarn that I'm using for this is again from Sunless Garn. I bought it together with the yarn that I showed you for the last sweater. This time I have a double Sunday, which is Sunless Garn DK weight yarn. This is so squishy. Again, with the PetiteKnit edition. I want to say this is color eucalyptus, which I do not know how to pronounce. And this is merino wool, 100% merino wool, so that's why it's very soft. And I don't think I've knitted in merino for a good amount of months, maybe a year. And so really I could, I don't know, feel the softness, I guess. That's the right word. I do have a good amount of balls left. And so I'm thinking that if I have maybe one, I will combine it with the drops Lima leftover from the sweater that I'm wearing, and I don't know, maybe make something for my daughter. We'll see. But both of them are so soft. And I actually started this sweater once before this incarnation, and the collar was so tight. I think I am a tight knitter in general, but the needle size that I've chosen was not big enough probably for the neckline, and so I ripped everything back and started again. And I feel like this is a much more successful go. This is a tubular cast on. I followed the pattern and it's very stretchy, but it also looks very good. And it feels comfortable. I tried it on, and so I am confident that this second time around will be the good one. I really made no modifications this time around, just following the pattern. I do trust the designer, so I mean I don't really need to make modifications, and I think it's turning out very well so far. My last work in progress is something that you've seen before. It has grown a little bit, but not too much. And probably because this is a more summer knit, it's knitted in cotton, and maybe I don't know, I think I wanted to finish up my wintertime knits before moving on and do my summertime ones. I don't know if it's true. But this is a Ripple Bralette by Jessie Maed Designs. It is looking a little bit like narrow for my body. However, this is super stretchy, and it more or less supposed to be form-fitting. So it's not supposed to be any positive ease, it's supposed to have negative ease, but this is more or less kind of where my body will be. I'm following this bralette pattern, but I'm making it into a camisole. I don't know if that's the right word, but I will be making like a full length camisole, so that I don't show my belly button on anything. I feel like I've never been one for crop anything, and I'm not super young anymore, so I do need my stomach and belly to be covered, otherwise I get very cold. So I just I think doubled the length, and I think I'm almost ready to knit the straps. They will connect in the back, and I will be able to try it on before attaching the straps, so it will be perfectly tailored to my body shape. I'm very excited for that. The yarn that I'm using is drop Safran in the red clay colorway, which I love. I've knitted a bottom-up shirt quite recently in this yarn, and I do have some leftovers, so that's how I got the yarn to knit up my bralette. The yarn is quite, I wanted to say quite difficult to work with, but that's not the right word. It's not the most enjoyable, because as I mentioned up until now, like I'm used to work. I usually work with very soft yarns that are quite squishy and that kind of caress my fingers while I knit them up. And this yarn is cotton, so it doesn't caress anything at all. I've not tried any other cotton yarns, so I cannot really compare this to others, but I feel like this is just the nature of the fiber. It's a little bit more of a stiff fiber. It doesn't have a lot of stretch to it, and so I will probably try again because summer is coming up and I want to make more summer garments like camisoles and t-shirts, and I feel like cotton would be perfect for that, and it's also very affordable in my experience, especially this one from Drops. Maybe I will try other brands. Not 100% sure if you can find like a very enjoyable cotton yarn to work with. This will be finished up pretty soon though, so hopefully you'll see it in next episode. Not sure if I will show it. I don't know. It's still a camisole. I don't know if I want to be that sexy on this podcast or not. You'll find out. This was my last work in progress for this episode, and I now have, as I mentioned, a couple of acquisitions. These are, I think, a little bit more expensive, luxurious. Scratch that word. I don't know how to say that. I don't know, like a fancier acquisition than usual for me. The brand is Knitting for Olive, and what happened is they had a sale maybe in February where all the proceedings for a certain day were gonna be devolved to the Red Cross for humanitarian help in Ukraine. And so I've been eyeing Knitting for Olive yarns for a good amount of time. Just I've heard about them in other knitting podcasts or on Instagram as well, and people seem to really enjoy working with all of their yarns. So I kind of took that opportunity to make a purchase, and so I bought two garment quantities of yarn. I've bought the Merino and soft silk mohair combination to make a sweater. I have 4 balls of each of them, which is like a sweater quantity for me with no leftover, but it is a sweater quantity for me. And I think I want to knit the Fern sweater. I've been loving and dreaming about this pattern for a good amount of weeks. I've seen the sweater on Caroline's, from Caroline Knits knitting podcast, and I've been just like, oh, give it to me now. That's a beautiful pattern. It has some lace motifs all scattered throughout the sweater, so it's not just lace on the yoke, but is kind of a more spreaded lace design. And I feel like I can do that after knitting my first lace yoke pattern. I think I want to move on to something that could extend beyond the yoke itself, and the yarn feels very soft. And if everyone that I've heard talking about this yarn has had only good things to say, and so I am excited. Not sure if I'll knit this sweater up in the season or if I will wait for the fall, so like after the summer, and maybe might be my first kind of woolly knit after the summer. We'll see. I think it will depend how the weather will go here where I am in Italy. That will dictate if I want to work with wool or if I want to move on to plant-based fibers. The colorway for this combination is Rust, which I feel like it's a perfect in between, like a brown and a red and an orange. I think it's perfect for autumn, is it? I'm excited for this. And the other garment quantity I bought is in cotton merino. This has, as the name suggests, a combination of cotton and merino. Would you have known? The actual percentage is 70% cotton and 30% merino. So it's more like cotton forward, but it has a little bit of softness from the merino. So if you compare it to the 100% cotton from Drops, the feeling by touch is completely different. The merino content really gives it a little bit of softness, additional softness, which I really enjoy. And for this yarn, I actually have 4 balls, and I want to make a cumulus. I want to knit a cumulus tee by PetiteKnit. I don't know how to say words today or yesterday or in general. And that's light fingering summer shirt. I think it will take a while to knit it up. I've heard from others that it is a bit boring after a while because it's knitted on small needle, which it doesn't go super fast. But I'm excited because I really enjoy the pattern. It has perfect v-neck shape, which I really enjoy in shirts. Usually all my t-shirts are somewhat of a v-neck shape. I'm excited for the final product, so hopefully I will be also excited during the actual project. And I think it might be it for today in terms of things that I wanted to share with you. Is it true? Maybe I can tell you a couple of patterns that I'd like to knit over the summer. So one that comes to mind is the camisole number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. You've probably seen this before because I've heard it mentioned in a few places, and because for good reasons, and that it looks stunning. It looks very pretty, it looks flowy. I think it'll be a perfect addition to my summertime wardrobe. I would also like to knit an outline tee by Jessie Maed Designs, and that looks also pretty fun to construct. I think you need to drop a stitch, and it will be dropped like throughout the entire garment, so that you're left with a lot of strands, horizontal strands, like a ladder. That looks so fun to actually just like drop that stitch. I actually have an entire Ravelry collection where I've been adding summer knits dreams. All the patterns that caught my eye over the past few weeks, they're kind of summery, so like camisoles or short sleeves. I've been adding them there. So if you are looking for inspiration and you generally enjoy the style, this very simple and clean style of things that I usually knit, maybe you can go and peruse the collection and see if you find something inspiring. Thank you for keeping me company and being here with me today. I really appreciate. I never say at the beginning of my videos that I hope you have a hot beverage and some knitting, but that's how I envision you right now. Like you're there comfortable and cozy with a pet somewhere if you have pets, or a very nice drink, either cold or hot depending where you're living and what the temperature is right now, and maybe some knitting, or maybe you're doing other stuff like you need to cook dinner or lunch or do stuff that's not super enjoyable and you just wanted to have someone there for company with you. So either way, I hope that I can provide you some companionship, and I will try to do that in the future as well. I hope you will have a good rest of your day. For me, for example, is 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, and so I will probably just have a chill day today. I will make a cup of tea in 30 seconds because I'm a bit chilly here in my office. Even though we've been talking about summer knits, that didn't warm me up that much. So in my wool and alpaca sweater, I say goodbye to you, and I will see you next time. Bye.